most comments, 57, as identified by the active transportation plan, with a split of 70-30. That has been refined now. The TTC PAC made the point that using the active transportation plan as the criterion by which it should be decided who would be included in this requirement was not going to work, because anytime a jurisdiction adopted the regional active transportation plan, they were in effect holding themselves liable for this requirement. So we note that point, so that now the 70-30 split is between the urban metropolitan statistical areas at 70%, 84 miles between Fresno and Clovis, and 36 miles for the county of Fresno. However, any Class 1 or Class 4 facilities that any of the incorporated jurisdictions outside the metro area construct could be counted toward the county's 36-mile requirement. So that is the language that is in the guidelines as of tonight. For safe routes to schools, so the green indicates the language as is being used now. Safe routes to schools approved using the same 70-30 formula split for the annual requirement for 5 projects annually. 50 projects over the course of 10 years that would have to be verified over that time. There is no provision right now for how that is to be divided. That will have to come through the strategic implementation plan that would be developed later. Next slide. Okay, there had been a goal to reduce vehicle miles traveled. There were concerns and objections to that. That has now been adjusted to read Fresno County region will have the goal of reducing GHG emissions as opposed to VMT, as prescribed by targets established quadrennially through the Air Resources Board. We deal with that here at Fresno COG through our Regional Transportation Plan and Sustainable Community Strategy right now. Rural trail design. The steering committee added at its last meeting that rural trails built strictly for recreational purposes are ineligible for Measure C funds. Also under rural trail design, new language that Class 1 bikeways in rural areas that link rural communities and or cities shall be built in accordance with the California Highway Design Manual, Chapter 1000, bikeway planning and design. That's simply consistent with other provisions in the guidelines. And then providing for complete streets elements on all category projects. We've adjusted that language to include that these elements are included where feasible. Next slide. This one also received a lot of comments. 70% average, 65% minimum PCI requirement on all existing neighborhood roads before 5% of funds for capacity expansion may be accessed. I do want to pause for a moment on this one because there seems to be some confusion about this. What this is saying is that of the existing streets and roads, percent is set aside for widening and capacity expansion. Before that 5% can be accessed, all roads in a jurisdiction must meet a minimum of 65% PCI. The jurisdiction must have an average of 70% PCI. So it does not exclude widening. It simply says that before the widening funds may be accessed, those criteria must be met first, except there are certain exemptions, as it says in green, for capacity expansion projects under very specific circumstances, which are delineated. Those projects that demonstrate significant safety or mobility benefits as supported by traffic studies that demonstrate reductions in fatalities and serious injuries for all road users. Those projects include dedicated or protected Class 1 or Class 4 facilities, dedicated transit lanes, or safety motivated turn lanes or intersection improvements that benefit all road users and that do not impede bicycle or pedestrian facilities.